Okay, let's start our session. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Can you see the slides? Is it okay? Everything is perfect?
Yes. Can doctor?
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, inshallah, today we will discuss about Tawarruq. Um, Tawarruq is very famous, well-known, and very much practiced in Islamic banks, Islamic financial institutions, and it is mostly used for liquidity management, right? To manage the liquidity, right? Okay, have you heard before about Tawarruq? Did you study somewhere about Tawarruq? Anyone? Or today is the first time you heard about Tawarruq? Please respond.
First time.
First time. Okay. First time. Okay. First time. Okay. Good. Okay. So I think it will be very good for you if you can understand Tawarruq now. So the next journey in any course, in any study about Islamic finance will be easy, right? Nowadays, most of the contract is going to be based on Tawarruq, right? If you talk about the interbank liquidity management, Islamic credit card, personal financing, right, and commodity morabaha, right, it's all based on Tawarruq, right? So that's why I choose after morabaha, the second one is Tawarruq, right? So Tawarruq also basically the sale-based contract. Okay? Tawarruq also basically the sale-based contract that is extensively used by Islamic financial institutions mainly to address liquidity shortage and to structure risk management tools, right? So the main purpose in Murabaha is to get the commodity, right? To get the asset. But the main objective in Tawarruq is to get cash, to get the liquidity, right? So Tawarruq, the subject matter is not the intention. The intention is to manage the liquidity. If bank A needs some money, so simply because it is Islamic, cannot borrow money from another bank B, right? So they have to go through some process to manage the liquidity to get cash from other banks, right? And at the same time also to can give some profit, right? Because there is no free money, right? So this process is called Tawarruq. So you see, Tawarruq is used in consumer financing. For example, home financing. Home financing can be also offered based on Tawarruq. Personal financing. Personal financing also can be based on Tawarruq. Credit card, Islamic credit card, investment instruments, commodity murabaha practice, right? is all structured based on Tawarruq. Okay. Okay. What is Tawarruq? So Tawarruq originates from the root word warik. Some people they think Tawarruq is from warak. It's not warak, it's warik, right? Warak means paper, but warik means silver, right? In Surah Al-Kahf, Allah mentioned that when they return back from the caves, right, they send someone to the market to buy some foods, right? So they send with silver money. فَبَعَثُوا أَحَدَكُمْ بِوَرِقِكُمْ, right? So warik, right? Warik means silver. Don't never mention that tawarruk is coming from warak. Warak means paper. So there is nothing, no relation with the paper money here, right? It means silver. So tawarruk means seeking silver, right? Seeking silver means seeking money, seeking liquidity. Right? So tawarruk provides a means of obtaining liquidity without getting involved in an interest-based loan. Okay, so no need to borrow the money with interest. Can do tawarruk. So tawarruk particularly involves the purchase of an asset as a means for obtaining liquidity, hence implicating monetization of an asset. So tawarruk basically means a process to monetize an asset. Monetize means you have an asset, so you can convert this asset into the money, right? That is called tawarruk, right? So is purchase of an asset as a means for obtaining liquidity, hence it means monetization of an asset. AOP mentioned the monetization means the process of purchasing a commodity for a deferred price determined through musawama, bargaining, or murabaha, markup sale, and selling it to a third party for a spot price so that can obtain cash. So simply, let's say you need money, right? So you come to me, okay, sir, can you borrow me some money? But if I borrow you money, I cannot make any profit, right? So what I can do, I have an asset. Let's say I have a mobile, right? Or I have money. I can buy an asset from the market and I can give it to you, right? So let's say I can buy a mobile for you. I say, okay, you take this mobile and you can sell it into the market and you can get money. So I buy mobile for you and I sell my mobile to you with markup. Let's say the mobile market price is 100 ringgit, right? So I sell you 120 ringgit on credit because I sell you on credit. You don't need to pay now. You can pay later on or by installment. So I sell you with 120 ringgit. So 20 ringgit is my profit. But you don't need mobile, you need money. So what you can do, you have the asset mobile, you can sell it into the market and you can get easily 100 ringgit. So you can sell into the market that asset into cash, right? So this is Tawarruk, simply. So we are using an asset to manage the liquidity for you. So through this Tawarruk, I make some money because I cannot borrow simply. If I borrow you, if I lend you, if I give you loan, I cannot make any profit. That will be interest, right? Money for money is interest, but money for commodity is profit. Right? So this is AOP says, purchasing a commodity for a deferred price. So you buy the commodity from me with deferred price, right? Through markup or through musawama, we bargain or we markup. I say, okay, this mobile is purchase price is 100 ringgit, but you have to pay me 120 ringgit. because you pay on credit, right? You pay later on. And then selling it to a third party for a spot price. And then you can sell it to another party on cash so that you will manage your money, right? You can get the cash. So this is all about Tawarruq. I think you also heard about INA, right? Bayul INA, which is so much controversial. So Tawarruq is the updated version of INA. What is the problem in INA? Because in INA already only two party. I sell my asset to you on credit and I purchase back from you on cash. So I am the buyer, I am the seller, right? So same person, I am the same person. First I sell and then I buy back. So this is INA. So this is the problem, right? Because the seller and buyer is the same party. So what in Tawarruq we can do? It is third party. I sell the asset to you and then you can sell it to another third party on cash and then you can manage your money, right? This is Tawarruq. I hope it is clear now. So Tawarruq simply is to seek for liquidity to obtain the cash by using a commodity, right? It is the process of monetization. What is monetization? Converting an asset into the cash, right? So purchasing a commodity on deferred price and then selling it to third party on cash. That is Tawarruq, right? Okay. So just now I mentioned Tawarruq and INA both are the same objective to acquire cash, right? To manage the cash. But what is the difference? Tawarruq is three people, INA is two parties only. In Tawarruq, original seller does not have relationship with final buyer, right? Because when I sell the asset to you, you can sell it to market to anybody else, right? So I don't know that person. I don't have any relation with that person, right? So original seller does not have any relationship with the ultimate buyer. But in INA, the original seller and final buyer are same, right? They are the same person. The same person is buying and selling, right? Mutawarrik. Mutawarrik means who is looking for cash. For example, you need money, right? So you are the mutawarrik. So mutawarrik is free to sell to anybody for cash. When you got the asset from me, so you are free. You can sell anybody else, right? You can sell any third party. But INA is a buyback agreement. In INA, no, you have to sell to me again, right? So this is the problem. So INA is very much controversial. That's why now the industry, especially the Malaysian industry, is converted from INA everything to Tawarruq, right? So this is INA structure, right? You see, this INA is basically used for personal financing, and in BBA also by Bisaman Ajil also it goes INA. What is INA? Just simply you got the I sell you the asset on credit and I buy back from you on cash. So you will get this cash, right? So this is INA. You see, simply customer need cash, so goes to bank and apply for personal financing, right? 100,000. So what bank do? Bank approve financing and prepare the document, right? Customer agree to terms and condition. This is number 4. Bank sells a bank asset to customer at the price of 180,000 for monthly installment payment over a period of 5 years. So you need 100,000, right? But bank will charge 180. Another 80,000 is bank's profit. right? So bank will sell you a bank asset. Bank has some particular asset. So it does sometimes it asset on the paper only. So bank will sell that this is called fictitious asset, means artificial asset. It's not the real asset, right? Because nobody needs asset, right? You also looking for money. Bank also looking for giving the loan or financing, right? So bank sells the bank asset to customer with 180,000, right? So now you got the asset, right? Number five, customer now owner of the asset, right? So customer resell the asset to the bank for the amount of 100,000 on cash, right? So first agreement between you and bank is the selling the asset, means bank will sell the asset and customer will buy the asset. So customer become the owner of the asset, right? So when customer got the ownership, customer resell back, customer sell back the asset to the bank, right? With 100,000. So bank will pay 100,000 ringgit on cash into the account, customer account. This is called personal financing, and then customer pay in installment for 5 years, right? So this is Bayul INA personal financing. So this INA converted to Tawarruq. How? In number five, customer sell the asset to third party, right? To another party to manage the cash, right? Okay. So this is about INA. Because if you when we study Tawarruq, we have to study INA to understand the difference between INA and Tawarruq. Okay. Okay. Next, so Tawarruq has two types: Tawarruq, classical Tawarruq, and organized Tawarruq. Right? There are two types of Tawarruq, and both are used as a means to obtain the cash. Tawarruq Fiqh is the original form of Tawarruq, while Tawarruq Munazzam is a type of Tawarruq organized by Islamic banks that plays a major role in the structuring of other transactions. So Tawarruq Munazzam is transacted in a regulated market. A Bursa Sukusela is the facilitator of this Tawarruq. So what is classical Tawarruq? Classical Tawarruq is simple. Mr. A will sell an asset to Mr. B, and then Mr. B will sell that asset to Mr. C, right? And then get the cash. So this is the classical Tawarruq. But now, let's say you got the asset. Now you have to look for customer to sell that asset, right? Maybe nobody interested to buy. Who will buy immediately? Because you need immediate cash. That's why you have to. There should have much some arrangement, right? Um, the supplier of the asset, the buyer of the asset, right? So this arrangement is called Tawarruq Munazzam, organized Tawarruq. That Tawarruq Munazzam is facilitated by Bursa Sukusila Malaysia. Bursa Sukusila, they have registered broker, right? So one broker will supply and Bursa Sukusila, they use the CPO, crude palm oil, right? Crude palm oil is the asset that have been used to facilitate the liquidity, right? So they have listed broker. So bank can simply buy the CPO from one broker and then can sell it to another broker. So everything is organized, right? Because these broker are listed into the Bursa. So Bursa will deal only with that listed brokers. So that's why it is called organized Tawarruq. Okay, but classical Tawarruq is nobody knows nobody. Mr. A sell the asset to Mr. B, and then Mr. B can sell to Mr. C that is a stranger, never knows, right? Just randomly can sell into the market. That is called classical Tawarruq. But classical Tawarruq may not serve the purpose of the Tawarruq that has been practiced in Islamic banks, right? Because you need immediate cash. So to get immediate cash, you have to be able to sell the asset immediately into the market. So that is sometimes would be impossible to get the customer, right? So that's why there should have some arrangement. Okay, so that arrangement is called Tawarruq Munazzam, organized Tawarruq. Okay, so this is the difference. Tawarruq Munazzam is includes four party: bank, customer, broker one, broker two. Broker one and two is the different people, different person. Because for Tawarruq, it should be different. Right? But Tawarruq Fiqh is only three party, right? A, B, and C. Tawarruq Munazzam, it has some structure. Customer has to come to the bank and make some promise that if you buy the asset for me, I will buy it from you, right? So we'll discuss later on the structure. So in the structure there is a promise in Tawarruq Munazzam, but for Tawarruq Fiqh no promise, right? Tawarruq Munazzam is basically signing a master agreement which resembles of memorandum of understanding of procedure to be followed, right? There should have agreement signing between the bank and the customer, but in Tawarruq Fiqh it's random, right? It's random. There is no master signing agreement and so on. So in Tawarruq Munazzam also, the customer appoints the bank his agent to buy and to sell the asset on behalf of the customer, right? Let's say when personal financing, a customer comes, then of course customer cannot deal with the broker, right? Customer cannot deal with the bursa. Only the bank can deal with bursa. So customer appoints the bank his agent to buy and sell the commodity on behalf of the customer. That's why there is an agency contract between the bank and the customer. But in Tawarruq Fiqh, there is nothing like that. The client can sell commodity on his own. Once you got the asset from me, you can sell it to the third party into the market, right? So this is the difference between Tawarruq Fiqh and Tawarruq Munazzam. Okay? Okay, I will give you floor to ask the question, unless if you don't understand. Okay, so far okay? So far any question? Any question on Tawarruq?
Okay.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, this is the structure of Tawarruq Munazzam, right? Tawarruq Fiqh is very simple because Tawarruq Fiqh also is not practice. Tawarruq Fiqh means you buy the asset from me and then you can sell it into the market or into the another third party and to get the cash. But Tawarruq Munazzam, because it is structured, so it has some here and there, right? Some complication. Okay, you see, this is the process. What is number one? The bank obtains Tawarruq transaction document from the client. Means there is a master signing agreement between the client and the bank, right? And based on this agreement, number two, bank buys commodity from broker A, right? Because customer need money, right? So bank cannot give simply money to the customer. What bank do? Bank has to buy an asset from market with that money, and then bank will later on sell it and give. Okay. So number two, bank will buy a commodity from broker A, right? This broker is listed into the Bursa Sukusila. So bank will buy CPU, crude palm oil, from broker A. Then bank sell that commodity to the clients at bank selling price, principal plus profit on deferred term. Just now we have seen in the Bayul Ina, let's say 100,000. So bank will sell 180,000 or 150,000, right? So now the commodity belong to the client because bank sell the commodity to the client, right? But customer doesn't need the commodity, right? Customer need cash. So number 4, customer requests the bank as its agent to sell commodity into the market. Customer say, okay, I don't need asset, so please you can sell the asset into the market on behalf of me. So number 5, acting as the appointed sale agent for the client, bank sell commodity into broker B. Bank will sell that asset into broker B. And then bank got the cash, 100,000, right? So this 100,000 bank credits client's account with proceeds from the sale of commodity. Whatever money bank will get from broker 2, bank will credit into the customer account, right? So now customer got his money financing, and at the same time, number 7, customer settle amount due to the bank, principal plus profit by way of agreed installment method, right? So this is the process of Tawarruq. You see why so many process, this and that, just to avoid the riba, because we cannot simply give the loan and we cannot make money out of that loan, right? So because nowadays everything is commercial, there is no free loan. So that's why there should have some mechanism like that to avoid riba, right? So this is the commodity. This is the Tawarruq Munazzam, organized Tawarruq. Right? I think it's very simple, and this process is very clear, right? So this is the Tawarruq between client and the bank. Okay. So this Tawarruq is basically can be used to collect the deposit also, and also for financing, right? If but you see in Tawarruq also the underlying contract is Morabaha, because bank will put, you see, principal plus profit. So this is based on Morabaha. It can be based on Musawama. Bank say, I don't want to disclose the cost amount, and just I need this amount as a price, as a selling price. So can be Musawama, right? Also can be Murabaha, based on the agreement between the client and the bank. Okay, so bank can use this Tawarruq also to collect the deposit, especially the fixed deposit or term deposit. Let's say a customer has ₦1,000,000, want to deposit with a fixed price. Customer doesn't want to deposit based on the any variable or anything. The customer want fixed price. So if you want to achieve fixed price, there is only one contract, buy and sell contract, because the purchase price or selling price should be fixed. So that's why the bank has to go this Tawarruq process to collect the deposit from that customer. Again, the same process, commodity Murabaha or Tawarruq. Customer appoint bank as his agent to buy commodity, because this one customer will give money into the bank, right? So customer need to get an asset to sell to the bank. This is the opposite of financing, right? In financing, customer needs money, so bank will buy an asset from the market and sell it to the customer. But in deposit, customer will buy an asset from the market and sell it to the bank. But customer, as I mentioned, customer cannot simply buy the asset from the market. So customer appoint the bank as his agent, and then bank will do accordingly. So same process, right? And financing also same. Okay? But before reading this two structure, this is just I don't want to confuse you, and I don't want to discuss details all three. You have to focus on this one, right? If you can understand this diagram, you will understand the Tawarruq. right? And commodity murabaha is underlying contract is tawarruk, is same. Right? This one commodity murabaha for deposit collection, and this one commodity murabaha for financing. Right? Cash in and cash out. Okay. So this is I will not discuss now because you will be confused. Okay. So this one, you see, this is Malaysia Bursa Suku Sela. This Bursa Suku Sela is just established to facilitating the liquidity management. Right. So this is the Bursa Suku Sela operation. You see, Bursa in the middle. Bursa will be facilitated between the broker and the bank. Because Bursa is a platform, so the brokers will register themselves into the with the Bursa. So bank will deal only the listed broker who are listed into the Bursa Shukusela. So this is just electronic system for trading and settlement, right? So let's say the bank will buy commodity from supplier A and will sell it to supplier 2. So there are many suppliers. And why many suppliers? So that there should not be the same buyer and same seller. For example, if you bank buy asset from supplier 1, bank will sell to supplier 2. But in practice, it will be buy and sold. The sale and purchase is being done randomly, right? Randomly on the electronic system. So if randomly, let's say by coincidence, there is same supplier for buying and selling, that's not a problem. Because the point is you sell randomly and you buy randomly, right? So this is Bursa Sukusela. Bursa Sukusela has established to facilitate this Tawarruq contract, this commodity murabaha. Okay. So the basic ruling of Tawarruq, majority schools of Islamic law, Tawarruq is permissible. It's okay, accepted. Islamic Fiqh Academy says Tawarruq is permissible, but there is difference between Tawarruq Fiqh and Tawarruq Munazzam. So Tawarruq Fiqh is permissible, but Tawarruq Munazzam is not permissible. Right? AOFI says permissible, subject to strict rules and parameters so that the application is genuine. So AOFI says basically is okay as long as you can maintain the all the parameters of buy and sell. Right? Some Maliki jurists say Tawarruq is impermissible. Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Qayyim say Tawarruq is not permissible because it's like an hila. Right? It's like an illegal trick to manage the liquidity. OIC Fiqh Academy resolution also says Tawarruq Munazzam is unlawful. So Tawarruq Munazzam, the organized Tawarruq is controversial, right? Is controversial. But Tawarruq Fiqh is fine. But if you do Tawarruq Fiqh, then how do you manage the buyer and seller immediately? So it will not fulfill the purpose of the Tawarruq. That's why you must have some arrangement, right? So if simply the arrangement is not a big issue, if you can maintain and all the parameters of buying and selling has been followed and there is a real commodity, right? And not the same person again buying and selling, so it's not an issue. Not an issue, no problem. Okay. So the condition for a valid Tawarruq transaction, the seller should have the commodity or asset in his possession at the time of the sale contract. Because when you sell the asset, the broker sells the asset, they must have the ownership and possession and control of the asset, right? Because you cannot sell something if you do not have. The seller must have the ownership of the subject matter. Tawarruq is a sale transaction, therefore it should fulfill the Sharia requirement of a sale contract. The second sale in the Tawarruq transaction should be concluded with a buyer other than the original seller. Means, if you buy the asset from Mr. A, you have to sell it to Mr. C. Cannot sell back to Mr. A. So should be different people. Let's say you are Mr. B, so you are buying the asset from Mr. A, and you sell that asset to Mr. C. So different person, right? This is the main condition. Okay. Okay. I think that's all about Tawarruq. So I don't want to confuse you because this is the first time for you in Tawarruq. So I just want you to focus on this diagram and to understand the Tawarruq simply. Okay. Okay. So far, any question on Tawarruq? Ada soalan? Did you understand? Paham? Paham. I can listen only one voice every time. What about the rest? Okay. So Tawarruk has many application, as I mentioned. Islamic credit card also based on Tawarruk, personal financing based on Tawarruk, home financing also can be based on Tawarruk, right? So I think have you heard about Ar-Rahnu financing, right? Ar-Rahnu financing is just simply you give collateral or as a mortgage like the gold, and the bank rayat will give you the half price of the gold and will charge you the service charge, right? Have you heard before about Ar-Rahnu financing? Do you familiar with Ar-Rahnu?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I don't. My intention is not to discuss Ar-Rahnu here. Ar-Rahnu is simple. Let's say you have a gold. The gold price is 4,000. So you can get the financing 2,000 only, half. And the bank will charge you, let's say, 50 cent per 50 cent per 100 ringgit, right? So Ar-Rahnu has become controversial because the service charge is calculated based on the amount of financing. But service charge should be fixed and flat. Let's say can be based on the collateral value, but it should be fixed. 100 ringgit, 200 ringgit, 500 ringgit, whatever. It cannot be calculated based on the amount of financing, right? That triggers an issue of it becomes similar to the interest. So that's why recently in 2019, the Bank Negara Sharia Advisory Council, they said Ar-Rahnu personal financing, the way it has been practiced is not Sharia compliant. That's why they suggest it can be designed based on Tawarruq. Right? That's why I put this example here. Ar-Rahnu also now or will be practicing based on Tawarruq. Right? Means a bank will calculate the collateral value, and then let's say bank will give you the financing of 5,000. So the 5,000 equal ringgit, bank will do Tawarruq with the Bursa Malaysia. Right? So now this is the modus operandi of new structure, Rahnu. So if any of the group is doing the project on Rahnu, you have to refer the new guideline, right? You have to refer to SSC guideline, and that Rahnu should be or can be structured based on Tawarruq, because the previous practice is seems not Sharia compliant. It has been controversial. Okay. So it's like same like Tawarruq just now we mentioned. Customer approaches the bank to apply a Rahnu financing. The bank will appraise the value of the gold and will be pledged to determine the financing amount. Normally, the bank will give only the half price of the collateral. Let's say if your gold value is 4,000, bank will give you 2,000 only. And then bank will execute the tawarruk with that amount. Means bank will buy an asset from broker A with 2,000 ringgit and then will sell it to you, and then you appoint the bank his agent, and then bank will sell that asset into broker B and then will credit that amount into your account. So now in this new structure, there is no service charge because the bank's profit will be calculated into the tawarruk. Let's say bank buy the same amount 2,000 ringgit asset from broker A and then will sell you with markup. Let's say 2,500 or 2,200. So 200 ringgit bank's profit. Right now, no service charge. Okay. So this is the new structure, also based on tawarruk. So what I can see now that every product almost now is going to be practiced based on tawarruk. Tawarruk will be now overused in the industry because everybody is looking for the fixed profit, fixed price. Everybody want to be secured, right? Nobody wants to take the liability, the risk, and so on. So you talk about home financing, you talk about personal financing, you talk about car financing, you talk about the Islamic credit card, you talk about personal financing. Everything now is going on Tawarruk, right? So that's why, at least for you, it's important to understand the Tawarruk and its principles and applications. Okay, so that's all from me. So any question from your side? Because this is first time for you, Tawarruk, that's why I don't want to go very much details, but I want to introduce with you this Tawarruk contract so that you can do some reading, you can understand, and later on when you find this topic into any other subject, then you will understand better, inshallah. Okay, ada soalan? Nobody wants to talk. Okay, can anyone explain a little bit about Tawarruk? What do you understand, please? What do you understand about Tawarruk? Just simply, can anyone with a simple example, please? Monetizing asset into money. Yes, thank you, Farah Shafika. So can you give a simple example on this? How do you monetize an asset into money? Actually, monetizing asset means also into money. If you say monetizing asset, no need into money. If you say converting asset, then you have to say into money. Monetizing means money inside, right? So converting an asset into money. or converting an illiquid asset into liquid asset. Okay, thank you for any simple example. Okay, okay. Any simple example on this? Anybody can try. Just I want to make sure that you understand what is Tawarruq. No, 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 no deposit. Just give me an example. How do you monetize? How do you convert an asset into the cash? You sell the asset, purchase a car, then sell it to the third party. Okay, purchasing an asset and then change the gold into money at the shop. But the way the way Tawarruq practice is for what? Let's say you have the cash money, right? 1,000 ringgit. So 1,000 ringgit you want to give loan to your friend, but you don't want to give free loan. You want to make some money. So you cannot simply give your friend money, right? Because that will be interest. So what you can do? You can buy an asset that has value. Let's say you can buy a coin, gold coin. Because if you buy jewelry, then there will be the making charge, right? And then if you sell again, they deduct the value. So let's say simply you buy a gold coin, 1 gram coin, or 1,000 ringgit is you can get 4 grams. I don't know the price now, expensive, right? 3 to 4 gram. So you can give you can buy a gold coin and then you can sell it that gold coin to your friend. Let's say you can sell 5% markup. So 1,000 ringgit, you will get 1,050 ringgit, right? So if you buy the gold 1,000, you will sell into your to your friend 1,050, right? So what your friend can do? Your friend can sell back into the market the gold because your friend doesn't need gold. Your friend need cash. So that is Tawarruq. So now your friend sell the gold into the market and get the cash, 1,000 ringgit. But your friend has to pay to you 1,050 ringgit because that one on credit, right? So this is Tawarruq. This is Tawarruq, right? No, this is not pawn because pawn is the mortgage, is the collateral. This is not pawn broking. You buy gold coin for your friend and then you sell it to your friend. Okay, let's say your friend is looking for money, but you have cash money, but because you cannot give loan, because if you give loan, you cannot make profit. So what you do? You buy gold coin for your friend. and then you sell it to you and you sell it to your friend with profit, right? With markup, right? So after that, your friend sell the gold into the market and gets the cash. That is Tawarruq, right? This is Tawarruq. So the original price is 1,000 ringgit, but your selling price will be 1,050 ringgit because 50 ringgit will be your profit, right? Okay, this is Tawarruq. It is a sale of asset with markup to your friend, yes, but your friend doesn't need the asset. The customer doesn't need the asset. So customer has to sell the asset into the market to get the cash, right? If you say simply it is a sale of asset with markup, so this is murabaha, right? But here we are talking about tawarruk because the client needs cash. The client doesn't need the asset, right? So the bank will sell the asset with markup into the client, and then client will sell that asset into the market. Just now your friend doesn't need gold. He needs cash. So he will sell your gold into the market to manage the cash. So the whole transaction, we are using the asset to manage the liquidity between you and your friend, right? So this is Tawarruk. Because without that asset, we cannot exchange the cash. That will be interest, right? Cash is ribawi item. That's why we have to use an asset between us to facilitate this transaction. Okay? So this is Tawarruk all about. Okay? Okay, so I hope after this you will try to read the slide and try to understand with example. If you understand one time, it will be permanent for you. But if you don't understand, then you read many times, you will not understand. So don't try to memorize, right? Try to understand what is the transaction is, right? So this is Tawarruk all about. Any other question? Okay, so I hope you understand Tawarruk, and after this, try to read the slide and try to understand more, right? And if still you have any answer, you have any question, you confused, so you can ask me in the group, WhatsApp group, no problem. Okay. So with that, we can finish. I'm sending the attendance link again. Those who join late. Okay. So with that, we can finish the session here. If you don't have any further question. So today we try to introduce with you the Tawarruk contract because I know today is the first time for you Tawarruk. So that's why I try to make it simple, right? Don't want to go detail the application of Tawarruk and so on. So Tawarruk is simple. Tawarruk is the updated version of INA. So what is INA? INA is the same person. I am selling the asset and I will buy back, right? I will purchase back the asset from you. So I am the seller and I am the buyer. So this is the issue. This is the main issue. So that's why you should go to the third party. The buyer and seller should be the different person. So this is Tawarruq, the transaction between the third party, right? Just now we explained this is the way. Okay, so I'm sorry if the question out of topic. Yes, yes. What is the come on? Compounding interest is halal or not? Simple interest also is not halal. What do you think about the compounding? How can you ask this question? Simple interest also is not halal. Simple interest also is haram, right? Interest is interest. Simple interest also is haram. Then compounding is double haram, right? Compounding is double haram because all the problem, all the culprit is the compounding. It's compounding. It's not the simple, right? You remember the quotation I mentioned in the riba? The former president of Nigeria says, we borrow, let's say 100 million, we pay 1800 million, but still we have the loan about 60 million because of the compounding. Because if you cannot pay, the interest plus principal every time compounding, right? Every year compounding, interest plus profit, interest plus profit. So if the original loan is 100 ringgit, by compounding it will be million, right? Or can be more. So compounding interest is means never ending process. Right. So it is double haram if we can say simply, means it's a serious crime against the humanity, right? And it's clearly injustice, zulm. Okay, okay, thank you very much. Um, so with that, we can close the session today, inshallah. هذا وبالله التوفيق والهداية سبحانك اللهم أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you inshallah next week, right? Next week, 28, we have you have the quiz too, right? Second quiz, 28. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.